The armed forces of Ukraine delivered a strike against Russian military units in the Andriivka, Oleksiivka front direction last week. This was reported by Lieutenant General Serhiy Naiev, former commander of the Joint Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The success of our actions in countering the Russian offensive operations is primarily determined by the availability of sufficient forces and resources. These are the main prerequisites for the effective use of already organized reconnaissance, command, management and coordination. I work directly with brigade and battalion commanders, as well as sergeants and soldiers, to ensure proper coordination between units and coordinated execution of tasks along the frontline sectors where the enemy is attempting to break through. We had some gains, Naiev said, Espresso TV reports. According to the Lieutenant General last week, in the Andriivka, Oleksiivka frontline sector, the defense forces of Ukraine lured the enemy forces into a pre-prepared trap and stopped them. Afterward, a devastating fire strike was delivered by several brigades and units. Over 600 artillery shells and more than 200 strike drones were used. As a result, 120 Russian infantry, 3 tanks, 11 armoured fighting vehicles and 1 enemy vehicle were destroyed. After the battle, the area was cleared. Thus, the enemy's attempt was thwarted. This is the result of clear coordination, early detection of the enemy's plans, and, most importantly, the availability of the necessary forces and resources for an adequate response. This is the decisive factor in modern warfare. If forces or resources are insufficient, reinforcement must occur. Naiev emphasized. Ukrainian forces pushed back Russian troops in the village of Shevchenkov in the Pokrovsk sector of Donetsk Oblast, the Deep State Monitoring Group reported. At the same time, according to the updated maps of the front lines, the enemy was able to advance near the Ukrainian village of Novolyubivka and the city of Chasiv Yar, as well as near the Russian settlement of Gwevo in Kursk Oblast. Earlier, Viktor Trehubov, Kwartitsia Operational Strategic Troop Grouping spokesperson, said that Russian troops had become bogged down near Pokrovsk and were showing signs of exhaustion. According to him, both the offensive from the south and attempts to outflank Pokrovsk from the west have failed. Recently, Ukrainian Armed Forces Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrskyi said that Russia's military is concentrating its main offensive efforts in the Pokrovsk direction but is effectively stalling. The first serious conflict between US President Donald Trump and his right hand Elon Musk has apparently begun. The billionaire has allowed himself to publicly criticize the US leader's policies. Musk made an important statement on the air of the LA7 TV channel, where he spoke together with Deputy Prime Minister of Italy, Matteo Salvini. The billionaire criticized Trump's trade war, stressing the importance of free movement of goods for innovative companies like Tesla and expressing hope that tariffs will be lifted soon. Both Europe and the US should, in my view, ideally move to zero tariff situation, essentially creating a free trade area, Musk said. Earlier on his social network X, Musk took a rather harsh swipe at White House top trade advisor Peter Navarro, who is considered the main ideologist of Trump's tariff policy. A Harvard PhD in economics is bad, not good. He hasn't built anything himself, the Tesla CEO wrote. In early April 2025, US President Donald Trump imposed new tariffs on imports, including a 34% tariff on goods from China, prompting retaliatory measures from China. These events led to significant fluctuations in stock markets and had a noticeable impact on Elon Musk's companies, especially Tesla. Tesla shares fell about 5% after the tariffs were announced, amid investor concerns about rising production costs and the potential for lower demand for the company's products due to trade barriers. The Telegram channel, Madame Secretary, commented on the situation. The author noted the lack of unity in the White House. The tariff policy has no hidden agenda or secret plan to robotize the US from Musk and Thiel. Trump was simply impressed by this idea from the radical segment of his administration and decided to implement it. But the stakes have risen so high that it could split not only the Republicans but also the various factions of the White House, which, by the way, are already on edge due to the operation against the Houthis and the policy towards Iran, NATO and the Ukrainian crisis, the expert noted. Donald Trump has defended sweeping tariffs on imports that sent shockwaves through global stock markets, saying, "Sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something." Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, he said jobs and investment would return to the US to make it wealthy like never before. Trump's top officials stressed that the tariffs announced last week would be implemented as planned, playing down recession fears.
A storm system sweeping over large areas of the U.S. South and Midwest has resulted in at least 16 deaths, with overnight tornado and flash flood warnings setting up more severe weather that forecasters say could cause rising waterways for days to come. According to Associated Press, many of the impacted areas already were heavily waterlogged by early Sunday after days of severe storms that spawned deadly tornadoes. The Dawson Springs Police Department in Dawson Springs, Kentucky, sharing video on its Facebook page Saturday, called the flooding there unprecedented. "Keep in mind, folks, there is still more rain to come," the Post read, with video showing much of the small town nearly submerged. New tornado warnings were issued overnight in Alabama and Mississippi, along with flash flood warnings for several counties in Kentucky, Mississippi, and Tennessee. The storms have hit as National Weather Service offices are short-staffed due to Trump administration cuts.